Your body or your mind is going to make that your reality. So what you want to do is start thinking positive, start thinking rich, start thinking broke. And once you start having that mindset and shift it over slowly, as long as you get 1% better each day, you're going to be better. I promise you.
All right, hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about mindset and how your life can change in every way if you was to just change your mind. And the reason I am so fascinated with the mind is because it's mentioned all over the Bible. It's probably the only thing that Jesus preached about, the kingdom, the mind. And I believe if people could understand or at least be open to the thought that our mind could potentially be heaven that we experience on earth or our hell, maybe we pay attention in where our thoughts go. And I have the opportunity to have my best friend here, Jay, because every time I learn something, I like to teach it to him. It's almost like a feeling when you probably got like your favorite deal, your favorite shoes on sale, and you want to tell someone. You just have a feeling where you just want to share it with somebody. And Jay is my best friend, so I always teach him stuff the same way how he teaches me stuff, and we end up growing. So I just wanted to leave the floor for him, and then we can talk and just vibe. So Jay, go ahead.
Well, first off, good day, everybody. If you didn't realize it, my name is Jay, Keon's best friend. So let's start off a few years ago. A few years ago, I was close to 300 pounds, making no more than like 50K a year, struggling to make ends meet, trying to figure out how am I going to provide for my family. And right then and there, I realized I needed to make a change. I didn't know what it was, but I know I needed to make a change. So here comes Keon talking about mindset. I'm like, we always hear mindset, but it's like, what is mindset? How you think about certain things, right?
Yeah.
Nobody cares about that. Let's be realistic. At the beginning, nobody cared about it. I didn't care about it. And then I was like, wait a minute. My best friend is successful. He's doing his thing. He's doing his thing in real estate, drop shipping, making money and all this type of stuff. And I'm over here struggling, pretending that I was doing good. I was literally, pretending that I was doing good, showing people online like, hey, I got this, I got that. But in reality, it wasn't what it was. I was in debt, obviously, and all that good stuff, just trying to prove to be someone I wasn't. So it all came down to this. There was one point in life where I was like, hey, I'm about to have my son. I can't be this version of me if I want him to grow into a man that I will be proud of.
I like that note. And before we even go further, because I have a similar thing. I heard like a couple of weeks ago that someone said if you really want to be successful, have more kids. And it sounded so funny up front, but then I started to think about my son, because my wife told me when she found out that she was pregnant, and she told me, she said something in me changed. She's like, something around when I got pregnant and you found out that you was having a child, you started to change. And that was true, because when I found out Ariel was pregnant, I was like, dude, I was just trying to have fun for 2 more years and then get serious. But when I found out he was coming, and I was like, well, damn, I have a lot of catching up to do. That's when I got busy. That's when I knew that something had to change, so I could relate to him when he said that. So go ahead.
So the first thing I did was define like what I need to do. I listed everything out, like I need to start making this amount of money. I need to start looking a certain way, because being realistic or not, if you want to be someone in society, unfortunately, it depends on how you look to a certain extent. You can't walk up to someone saying, hey, I'm a fitness guru being 300 plus pounds. Yeah. You have to show some sort of dedication and discipline for yourself. And the biggest indicator, one thing you can't fake is your fat. Because once they see you, they can see if you're disciplined with yourself to see like, hey, I gotta take care of myself. If you take care of yourself, you put the work in, it shows. And once that shows, then it's like, yo, this person is one fit. That means he's dedicated to himself. That's the beginning thing. So no matter what, you have to be fit to a certain extent to even catch certain people's attention.
Yeah. So Jay about to get in his bag. So before he opened the bag, I want to preface, I want some of y'all to think back and figure out who you get advice from. Because if you get advice about anything from someone, you need to find out first, is the person you getting advice from, are they already getting the results you want?
they're not successful, there's no point.
Because everyone have their own definition of success. So if you trying to make money and you asking someone who you know don't have money for advice, you have to really ask yourself, does that make sense? Because if they had so much good advice, why didn't they take it and do it? And now they would be able to show you, like, not only just give you advice, but show you, like, hey, dude, like I just got paid today. You could see it for yourself. And then when people see that, that's when they're gonna be like, okay, well, shoot, how you doing that? And now they're interested. But if you just tell them up front, they're gonna be like, yeah, whatever, that shit ain't real. So, like, that's a serious thing. Like, this is something y'all could do right now in your life. Where are you getting advice from? Are those people getting you the results by having it themselves, or are they just giving you advice because they think they know, even though they don't have what you're trying to get? That's crazy. That's crazy. Because I see it in the gym all the time. Like, okay, this dude getting advice from this dude who looked like he never
lift a weight in
his
boy come
life.
off of YouTube University.
You see what I'm saying? But because he know how to talk a good talk, you with this bodybuilding coach who you afraid to go to the gym and say, that's my coach. Like, no, you want the dude that buff because you know this dude living it. So it's like, what do you do? What you had for breakfast? Like, is your meal prepping looking like mine's? It's kind of like we went to Cookout this weekend, and I asked the guy at Cookout how much, like, what's the best thing on the menu, and he was like, to be honest, I don't even eat here. And I was like, well, dude, why do anything? If you somewhere where the people that work in there they don't even want to be there. They won't even eat here. But they support that dream. They supporting that dream, but I don't want to take over. So
nah, you good. No, we here. It's all good. But yeah, so coming to that harsh realization, I needed to realize, like, yo, how can I lose weight and get in shape? Because one, I have to do it for my son. I want to be able to run up and down, go outside. You know, I want to be the bad guy chasing him around the house and all that type of stuff. And me realizing that, I was like, what is the easiest way? First off, that's not right. There's no easy way to lose weight. Everybody's body is different, and you have to find out your own way. I've been through I tried Wegovy shots. I've tried science. I've tried fat burners. I've tried Atkins.
The B12 shot.
No, I tried everything.
And that's because every time he found something, he would let me know, hey, I doing this right now. But what he was really doing, he was putting a Band-Aid on the problem. And a lot of us just put Band-Aid, temporary solutions. Like, okay, I don't want to solve this problem right now because I have so much other stuff going on. Let me do a little quick fix. I know it gonna flood later, but you ain't really thinking about it like eventually you will have to deal with the flood. You will have to deal with the flood. So if you know you just don't want to deal with the flood, just start patching up your ship right now. So go ahead, Jay.
Basically, it was just straight fat diets. Basically, it was like fat diets. And I would lose 10 to 20 pounds at a time. And I'm like, yo, this thing works. I stop, gain back 30. How I lose 20 but gain back 30? Nobody liked those results. So I did my research and I realized intermittent fasting is hands down one of the best ways you can lose weight. I eat one meal a day. I found out my number, like, hey, Jay, you are 6'2" and you're 300 pounds. In order for you to lose weight, you need to eat less than 2,600 calories a day. So what I did was, I'll eat at between 1 and 4 o'clock, but eat whatever I want as long as it's under the 2,600 calories. By doing that, within 4 months, I shed 70 pounds.
So
easy.
So what he's saying is he turned his problem into a problem that can be solved, and it turned into a math equation.
And that's me. I'm a math guy. I'm a finance guy.
He's a finance guy. So you can break. Some of us have problems. This is what I'm trying to say. Some of us have problems in life, and the way we're framing it to ourselves, it's impossible to solve it. So it's like, you're always stressed out, you're always having a hard time because the problem that you are telling yourself you have has no solution. Some of you guys will even say, some people will be like, oh my gosh, my life is just an eternal hell. And it's like, why would you bless that on yourself? That is what you're focused on. And because they don't know the power of their tongue, they start to manifest it. But I don't even want to go down there.
No, it's okay because manifestation is something that is real. People may think it's just something that's just being said. Oh, I got manifested, and then it'll appear and all that type of stuff. Being realistic, that's what happened. Your mind is a very powerful. I don't want to say being, but it's a very powerful part of your body. Once you start thinking it, it's going to happen. If you constantly think that, hey, I'm broke, I'm cheap, I can't do this, your body or your mind is going to make that your reality. So what you want to do is start thinking positive, start thinking rich, start thinking broke. And once you start having that mindset and shift it over slowly, as long as you get 1% better each day, you're going to be better. I promise you that.
And you can turn that into a math equation too. So some of us only do New Year's resolution once. We do it every January 1st. So the only measurement that you have of yourself is once every 365 days. Once you become aware that the only things that you focus on can grow, then you can start reassessing your goals every month. If you decided to recheck the goals that you have that you made on January 1st and say, I'm going to check up once a month, you are automatically 12 times better than the person who only makes one New Year resolution.
Yeah, that's true.
12 times. So that means if you made some time, just 10 minutes, to check up on your goals once a week, there's 52 weeks, 53 weeks in a year. You are 52 times better than the person who checked their goals once a year or 12 times a month or once a quarter. There's businesses that are more successful because they check their finances every quarter.
Every 3 months.
Every 3 months. So they know if something happens in 3 months, they know if to keep doing it or there's something that they did during those 3 months that didn't work. So now you can you can freeze your life and look back in a period of time and say there is something that I changed between this day and this day. And you can tweak it. You will find it because now it's measurable. But if you're not measuring your goals, whatever your goals may be, and in Jay's case, it was his weight, and you'll see how easily how it was applied because it's a principle that we're trying to teach.
Like you were saying, it's daily. I did mine's daily. Track my progress. I made sure I did everything daily. And I realized, hey, I am gradually getting better. Even if I lost like 0.2 in weight, I got better, and that's what kept me motivated to keep going. Because there were weeks I was like, I'm not losing nothing. But then the week right after, I lost like 6-7 pounds. Wow. I was like, wait, what's going on? Like I thought I plateaued, but your body is changing in the background. If you start lifting weights, you'll realize, oh, I'm gaining weight instead of losing weight. But then one day your body's gonna be like, no, I'm just sculpting you so you can look better. There was an example, if you take like a Ziploc bag and fill it with water, it's all flaccid. When you start putting stuff inside of it and gradually filling it with mass dense, it's going to eventually take out all of that water, and then you can start seeing definition. That's what your body does in the background when you start to work out or ride the bike or whatever you want to do. Find your favorite workout and do it. And you cannot outwork a bad diet. I'm still working on it because today I had jump. But it was under the 2600, so I'm fine. Yeah. But if I start making better choices, I'll eventually get to where I want to be. And it's ever going. Like I can't stop. It's a new lifestyle change. And that's what people fail to realize. It's not, I'm going to do this diet until this day and be like, hey, I'm done. I reached my goal weight. Bikini time goal, hot girl summer XYZ. And you have to constantly keep doing it, and you have to constantly be on it. It's okay if you take a day off or so. It's not going to kill you. Yeah. But just make sure you don't go back to that old person. You don't want to be your old self.
You want to be a new consistent. So like once you find out who you need to be, the version of yourself you want to be, you can create ways to be consistent that way, because eventually once you're consistent in a specific routine, it turns into a habit. And then once it becomes a habit, eventually you won't have to remind yourself, oh, I usually wake up and drink water, and then
Build that discipline from
you know,
early.
go
Once you
on
get
the
that discipline,
bike,
you're
do a
good.
little cardio, whatever. But now you've been doing it so long, like when you stop doing it, you feel weird. Like that's how programmed you want to be. It's like, dude, I can't go 3 days. Like me, I can't go 3 days without working out. Like I feel weird. That's my thermometer. So my thermometer says if I don't work out in 3 days, that the temperature drop. It's almost like being in your house and it's like, damn, who touched the damn temperature? So some of us have internal curses, because we're going to transition into Jay's way to his financial, because he also mentioned that too. So there's a way that you apply the same principles to what you doing with your life. And in Jay's case, he worked in finance. So you could talk about that as well.
So, like I was saying, so I started off in 50K and I realized I wasn't getting the respect that I deserved. Like going into work, people were just looking at me and being like, okay, you're just here. And I realized I probably just wasn't pleasant to look at, you know. I hear you're ugly all your life and like, yo, is this real? Like, what's going on here? I probably still ugly, me and Keon, forget you. Anyways, right? But the fact is, when I started to make progress on myself and I got more confident, that confidence translated into me and my work. So as soon as I started, I think I lost like 10, 20 pounds. And my supervisor, he brought it up like, hey, you're looking different. What are you doing? Because I would like to get some help. And right then and there, I knew I got him because, hey, he wants help from me, his employee. If I help him with his problem, I know I'm going to get something back, or he's going to want to help me out, because that's just how the human works. Like, if I give you something, naturally, you want to repay that debt.
And that's a law. That's a universal law. You could say cause and effect, right? You did something, you have to receive something. So the law of balance, yin and yang. If you want to wild out and have a hot girl summer, then your winters is going to be a real cold winter, because it's the balance. Is you have to find the balance. So when you want to receive stuff in life, you have to give. So when someone do you a favor, they're gonna naturally want to give you a favor back, because that's the law of cause and effect, and you can leverage that in many different ways.
But yeah, so I told him what I was doing when I eat and all that type of stuff, and we basically became closer that way, because I was like, hey, boss, I'm about to eat my first meal of the day, or the only meal of the day. He's like, I'm about to do the same thing too, Jay. XYZ. We became together, formed our own little group, and we gradually got better, like improving ourselves. And since we improved ourselves together, he wanted to make sure I improved in the workplace. So right then and there, from me talking to him, I went from 50 to like 85K. In like 4 months.
Wow. Okay.
Just talking with him and helping him. I didn't do nothing different other than being like, hey, yo, I'm checking in on you. I'm like, yo, make sure you do this. Stay consistent. And then after that, COVID hit. It was an unfortunate time, but it depends how you look at it, because that was my opportunity to grow. While everybody was afraid to go into work, I decided, no, this is my opportunity to make it better for my family. So I made sure I put myself out there, and I spoke with everyone. I went to conventions, even though people weren't doing it as much. I went to everything, and I eventually spoke with the Marines right now. And I got a job where I'm at right now. I'm not gonna disclose that. But currently I'm making well over 6 figures. Not the 103K that people are saying, like, yo, I'm 6 figure. Over. Like, you know.
So he went from 50K, and then he made an extra 35,000 just off of a relationship with his boss. So he was able to make more income by improving something in his life that had nothing to do with finances. And you would never think that there's things that you can focus on in your life that have nothing to do with finances that will improve your finances. If we would just pause and like stop focusing on our finances for a second, you would realize that you have opportunities out there in the world waiting to come to you, but you're too busy with your stress that you can't stop to see the opportunities in front of you.
Exactly. So it's like you just said, when you're stressing about bills, when you're stressing about debt, when you're stressing about where you're gonna get your next meal, you don't see all of the opportunities that come to you and be like, hey, this is what you need to do. Here you go. I'm going to give it to you. And growing up in the islands, we have we don't need a handout mindset.
Yeah.
Like, don't give me that. I can work hard, X, Y, and Z.
Everybody wants to work hard, but that's a belief.
That's dumb. It's not, I'm sorry, that's dumb.
That's a belief, and I'll talk on that.
Man,
so,
go ahead.
You know, you good, Jay. Like, I'm so glad you bring that up, because a lot of us have beliefs that we learned from our parents that just didn't make sense, and we only believe them. Listen, there are some beliefs you have in your life right now only because your mother told you that, and you was 5 years old, and you never reconsidered that belief they gave you. And a lot of you have gone through life, experienced a whole lot of stuff. You got your education. Some of you have well on all these certificates and degrees, and have not considered some of the beliefs you have now just to see if it still makes sense. So a lot of us learn that we need to earn our way through success, which means we have to work hard. And it's like, you don't really have to work hard if you didn't want to work hard. Like, what if there was a way to live the life you want without working hard? Like, if you was to ever ask yourself that question, because many of us don't even know to ask ourselves that question in the first place. And that's something I learned from Tony Robbins is, a lot of times, if we could just change the questions we ask ourselves, we could significantly change our life. So once they start asking, how can I be more productive? How can I create more wealth in my life? How can I create more cash flow? How can I have more money coming in than I do coming out? How basic is that question?
It's very basic. Like, what are you spending your money on? Like, what
Because
do
you
you
know,
don't need?
some people I talk to, it's like, hey, so you trying to make more money? Okay, so where your money going right now? I don't know.
I just be better.
So how you don't know where your money going, but how you trying to control something you don't manage? If you not managing your money, and
as long as I could pay my rent, I could. No.
Man out here, like y'all need to dream bigger. Dream bigger. And the thing is, a lot of us, we can't dream because we stuck in the grind. And I used to think that I needed to grind too. And I went through, what they call it, entrepreneur fatigue. I almost crashed the car with my son in there because I was working till 1 a.m. every night thinking I had to hustle. And it's like, dude, what if I don't have to do all of this and still get the stuff I want? And
they got the blueprints out there. There's someone who does it.
There's someone who knows how to do it, and they're doing it right now, and they're probably in your face trying to say, hey, we can help you. But if you in survival mode, you can't hear them. There's an example I want to bring up, and I'm probably going to bring it up. Like, there's somebody I'm trying to help out right now, and they don't believe that I just want to openly help them. They think there's a catch. They think it's a scam, and it's like a friend want to help you out because they see you in a position that you don't need to be in right now. And they think that I am out to get them. So when you really listen to people like that, you can kind of see where their mind is. It's like someone who absolutely needs help. And this is I like to use this analogy a lot. This person is drowning at sea, and you trying to go and pull them out the water, but they don't want to die. So even though you trying to help them, they still trying to protect themselves. So they might drown you.
A drowning person always finds someone or something to bring down with it.
They might, like you trying to help them, but because they trying to save themselves, they drown in you, and you trying to help them. So that's what happened to other people. Like there's people who want to help, but they see, and I call that survival mode. Like you just in survival mode right now. Like your problems is louder than the solutions. Oh shit, that's cool. Your problems is louder than the solutions.
There you go. But okay, back to mindset, because I see you starting to go off.
Yeah, I see that.
One thing you should do, because what I'm telling you is what worked for me. You will still need to find something that works for you. So one thing you should do is get a piece of paper, write down your goals. From there, write down how you're going to implement those goals. And just do it. That's literally it. Do it. Even if you half-ass it, do it. Because at some point in time, you're going to want to keep it up and be like, yo, this is working for me. When you start seeing results, you're gonna be like, wait a minute, hold on. Is this Jay? I forget my face look like this. Like, what going on here? You're gonna start seeing your clothes getting loose, and then you'll be like, time to go buy some clothes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That relief that you feel when you walk into a store trying on something at a lower size and it fit, is like, wow, I really doing something with myself. But this is only applies to the whole weight aspect for now. But granted, no, let me take that back. That could apply to everything that you do. Because at your job or the business you create, once you start being disciplined and you constantly doing the same thing over and over and improving and implementing that strategy, you realize, hey, I'm getting more customers. Hey, these ads are hitting. Hey, I am making more money.
Yeah.
You're going to want it because success is contagious.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Once you start getting some sort of success, it's like a drug, it's an opioid. And then you want to keep doing it over and over. And once you start, I promise you can't stop. You won't be able to stop.
Because they're going to compound. They're going to compound. That's why you have to count your small wins, because small wins add up. It's almost like investing all your pennies coming back with a penny. And individually, it looked just like a penny, but when they come back together, it's a whole bunch of pennies. So now it's bigger. Eventually, it turns into bills, and it takes time. But once they start to roll, you ain't gonna have to push it no more. Like, it gonna be running downhill full speed, and it's because you have to start it eventually, right? Diamonds have to go through fire. Wine need to go through a crushing. TD Jakes just talk about that all the time. I just listen to this, man.
And that's basically saying everyone is gonna have a challenge and setback. Don't get me wrong. There was times I felt like giving up, and I realized I lost progress, and I'm like, yo, you need to focus up, Jay. Like, get back on, because you know what you want. You know who you're doing it for. I'm doing it for my wife. I'm doing it for my son. I'm doing it for my family. I'm doing it for my future in general, because I don't want to be 40 and not see my son graduate because of a heart condition. I don't want to be dead and gone while my wife and son is living without me.
Yeah.
That was one of the main things. I had to make sure, like, I had to make it.
I feel that.
Because I'll be damned if somebody else raising my son. Like, unless something happened to me that's out of the ordinary, nobody else raising my son. Because I know the type of man he should be, and I'm going to try my best. I'm going to do my best. I don't say try anymore, forgive me. I'm going to do my best and make sure he's going to become a man that I know that somebody else in the future will be like, yo, they did right. His parents did right.
Yeah, I love that.
And it's more or less like, hey, once I give my message to my son, hopefully he can spread that message to other people, and that's going to help, a trickle effect, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's one of my main things in life right now. It's more or less, hey, I'm creating generational wealth. So I took care of the finance aspect of my life. I'm taking care of, the weight aspect. I'm still working there. I still got a little chubs, but it's okay. I'm still taking care of it. And now the next thing I'm going to be taking care of is helping others realize, like, yo, it's okay. It's okay to be down, but I am here to help. I can help you.
Yeah.
And if you don't want it, that's okay.
Yeah.
But just know, whenever you're ready, I got you. Because I was where you were at.
Exactly. And that's how I learned to know when people really made it, It's like now, instead of them grinding, because the grinding over, now it's like they're trying to give back. They're trying to do community service. They're putting money into stuff that they believe in. They're finding people like them who are younger, and it's like, dude, if I knew what I knew now when I was 20 years old, I would have been crazy. So you find a young 20-year-old with an aspiring mind, and you see them, and all they need is a little bit of advice. Like, they're like a 20-year-old version of yourself, and it's like, dude, I was looking for you all my life. Just give it to me.
But yeah, that's basically what's next for me now. I'm out here to help folks, and I'm not saying I made it. I'm not saying I'm the end all be all.
Yeah.
But I'm working towards it.
Because once you create the plan, like once you find out what you want in life and you create a plan to get there and trust that you can trust yourself to execute it, you don't have to wait until you get to the finish line to be successful. Like, you know you will get there because the plan has already been made, and all you doing now is hitting the execute button. And of course, you know, it won't go exactly as you plan. You're gonna run into some hiccups every now and then. But that's the beauty of the game. You have a side quest, it's going to make you smarter. You're going to meet new people. So a lot of the things that you say you want, it might not manifest exactly the way you saw it. It might be better. The Bible talks about that a lot. Many are the plans in a man's heart, but it's God's purpose that it actually manifests, right? Like the things that we think is awesome, God is laughing at us saying, like, if you only knew. But anyways, I think that was a good
segment.
Good little session. So this was session number one. Session number one. We'll be doing some more. I'm gonna be doing some interviews with people that had similar stories to Jay, because a lot of the problems that they've went through and overcame, they might be able to share some nuggets with some of you guys out there listening. So that being said, we out.
Goodbye.
Peace.